topic of the canyonization of Poway Road. Okay. And this has been making the how should I say, it's been on the circuit of local Facebook community commentary here in my hometown of Poway. And this was a letter to the editor that was in our Pomerado News, which is, part of the San Diego Union Tribune family of local newspapers. And it was written by a gentleman named Barry Edmonds. And I want to read this to you because it's very interesting and there's a lot of conversation around this. And the title of the letter of the editor is The Canyonization of Poway Road. And Barry says, first, there are 2 apartment buildings at the intersection where Taco Bell is. Now we have large, tall, block-long buildings going up where the bowling alley used to be. All of these are within 10 feet of Poway Road. Keep this up, and we will look like a miniature downtown New York City. Will it stop? Will it stop? This is fantastic. I love this comment. Okay, so let's break all this down just to bring some of you up to speed. Maybe you're not following the local stuff going on in Poway, but there's a lot of construction going on in Poway. And it's not just on Poway Road. There's developments all over the city. There's the farm in Poway. There's a lot of other kind of smaller developments that are kind of fitting into some of the open space. But Poway Road is definitely where most of the action is. And oh my God, there's been big progress made. Not only have they finished, Terrascan and Poway Road where the Taco Bell is, there's also some apartment buildings there that partly cater to seniors and to retired military. But I think some of those units there are market rate. That's like a 3-story building, which used to be a vacant bank lot that hadn't been used in decades. And then across the street from that is the Poway Commons, where they're building all of those 2-story townhome condos that go around the El Armando's taco shop. And they also kind of work their way around Poway Community Park. And those have been going up and people are moving in. And so, yeah, on that street corner, you used to have not a lot of action. In fact, on that street corner, there used to be nothing really in between the corner and the barn, the El Armando taco shop. Now there's I think it's a 3-story building there too. And that freaked out a lot of people here in Poway. Well, now, as I predicted, the freak out is really freaking out. So where the Poway bowling alley used to be, and next door to it were all the thrift stores, now that's the Fairfield project, and they're starting to go vertical aggressively. And a lot of people in Poway, that maybe weren't paying a lot of attention to what the city council's plan were through this process are now seeing these buildings go up vertically. And oh my God, not only are the apartment buildings in the back of that lot going up, and they're 4 stories high. Granted, it's a little bit below the ground level of Poway Road, but it's still pretty tall. And then along the street, they're building restaurants and other commercial buildings. But those buildings look like they're going to be 2.5 stories high when you kind of build the facades and everything. And when you're driving down that part of Poway Road, you've got all of this, assuming you're going eastbound on Poway Road from Carriage towards Community, you've got all these 2x4s going vertical on the south side of Poway Road. And on the left side of Poway Road, there's that hill, and there's been those condo townhomes up on the top of that hill for a while. And so, yeah, maybe it feels like a narrowing, like a canyon as you're going through. Our good friend Pete Neal did a great video comparing it to Luke Skywalker going into that narrow chasm on the Death Star, where he fired the laser shots into the exhaust port, and it ended up blowing up the whole Death Star. It was funny. And I think, yeah, there is a lot of reaction to this because so much is changing and everyone is freaking out. There's a contingent of people that are old-time Poway people that don't like change at all. They don't want tall buildings. It's getting in the way of my beautiful view of the Poway Hills. There's other people that don't like it because they're just opposed to the city council and the deals that they've been making with developers. And yeah, there is some, how should I say, lining of pockets going on there where developers are funding PACs, and those PACs are being used to kind of tear down the candidacy of certain candidates that are anti-development or for slow growth, and propping up candidates that are in agreement with the developers. But you know what? I see all of this and I'm still confident that what's happening on Poway Road will be a net positive for our city because on many different levels. I mean, of course it's changed and there's more traffic and maybe some stress on our infrastructure, but it's not going to be nearly as bad as people think. And on top of it, that well, first of all, we have a housing crisis in San Diego County. We have a housing crisis in Poway. We have a housing crisis in California. There is a desperate need to build more housing units, whether they're single family homes or condos or apartments or what have you. And now they're finally building them, and people are angry because of the change, because some of these are not subsidized enough by developers or by taxpayers and not affordable enough. Well, the apartments that are already built, right there at Terrascan and Poway Road, well, some of those are subsidized for seniors and for veterans, but I believe those subsidies are from the developer themselves. I think they kind of packaged it in the way they built that. But those condos, yeah, the Poway Commons, those condos are selling for what? 800. I think they were originally going to sell between 6 and 700, but now they're 800 and sometimes maybe a little bit more because of the market and the way things are changed. So, yeah, I mean, none of that is quote unquote affordable housing. It's what we'll call market rate housing based on the market conditions in San Diego County, which there is a housing shortage, a housing deficit. Supply is low, demand is high, and prices are high. But you know what? Overall, this is going to be good. Overall, more housing units, more roofs over people's head that can come to Poway, enjoy our city for the same reasons that I've lived here for close to 30 years. I enjoy this city. Other people will be able to come here and enjoy the city as well. That's great. But at the same time, as they build more of these brand spanking new housing units, whether it's an apartment or a townhome or a condo, whether you're buying or whether you're renting, well, yeah, they're going to be expensive because they're brand spanking new. But that's going to free up a lot of older buildings, older rental apartments, older rental homes that will be less expensive. And we'll start to see a sort of a cascading effect throughout the community. But you know what? People are just freaking out about this idea of canyonization of Poway Road. I mean, it's different. It's different, but the world is changing. We can't hit the pause button on our VCR and freeze Poway at 1973. There's more people in San Diego County. There's more people in Poway. There are more jobs. There's a lot more people attracted to San Diego. And we've got a problem on our hands. There's not enough housing. And so it's funny because some people will get upset when they build $1 million homes like they're doing at the farm in Poway, because that's not for affordable housing. But then when they start to build condos that are less expensive than $1 million housing, that are more, actually, in many cases, less than the median home price in San Diego. Median home price in San Diego is, what was it last? Like $850,000. A lot of these condos on Poway Road in the Commons are below that. And now they build homes market rate that are below the median. People still get angry because they don't want people moving in. It's the NIMBY effect. But, this is going to keep on going, and wait till those buildings at the Fairfield project right by the Poway Fun Bowl used to be start to get finished and people start moving in. You're going to see a lot more hair standing up on the back of people's necks as we go. But what do you think? Do you think Poway Road is out of control? It's really not that bad. I mean, there's like 3 or 4 buildings that are 3 stories or more. And it's not like, going down that narrow chasm on the Death Star with Luke Skywalker and having Darth Vader chasing you down with a TIE fighter. It's not like that. It's not like Barry Edmonds says here, New York City in Poway. It's not like that. It's not even like Mira Mesa. But you know what? Everything's changing. Poway, the old moniker, the city in the country, it sounds nice, but that was established over 40 years ago when the city was incorporated. Things are changing. And it's not just Poway. Look around. You go across the freeway over to Rancho Penasquitos. There's a ton of development over there. And then there's development in our coastal community, development downtown. development in Escondido and Vista and Oceanside because of this housing crisis. So, wow. So tell me what you think. Type in your comments in the live chat on Facebook or YouTube.